Hello future tech leaders, I'm Sindhuja. Based on my own experience, I know that learning the right skills can shape our future. What if I say learning was as thrilled as the tech world itself? There we go. A cloud foundation, that's exactly what you will experience. From day one, you will be immersed in the interactive sessions and expert-led courses that covers most of the widely used technologies in the zone of data science to cloud computing, which brings more light to the life of a techie. I'm so excited to help you and unlock the true potential of a technology. Well, then why to wait? Let's see what it unfolds.
Today, let us start with a very simple but then a very important thing, which is called conditional formatting. Before we jump on to any charting, let's look at conditional formatting today. Conditional formatting is nothing, but you know what is conditional? Anyone who wants to volunteer and say what is conditional formatting? In Excel, we have that right, everyone. Based on data, we can have different colors and mappings. Absolutely correct. Based on the data we do, based on some conditions, we do a formatting which can be highlighting, which can be, do any kind of a thing to flag out a certain inference that you have done from your data. That is conditional formatting, whereby you want to highlight the customer or the client or the end user, whoever it is, to the graph. And you want to show them that you know what this is. This is something that we have inferred. And I want your special attention towards this area of the chart. Having said that, let's look at conditional formatting and how we can achieve conditional formatting in Tableau. Let me put subcategory into rows and sales into say text. Now what do I have is subcategory, and for each subcategory we have the text over here. Let's do a descending. Now what we have is a descending order, descending order thing, which will have a descending order thing on subcategory, whereby it shows me the numbers from highest to lowest. Now, what I need to do is I need to look at the numbers from a numbering point of view. And I want to do an indexing kind of a thing whereby I want to assign these numbers as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, etc. That is called an indexing. It is a very simple function whereby you need to go to the create calculated field and name it as index. And you can have it as like there is something called an index function in there. And you can choose the function which is a default table calculation. Whenever you see a default table calculation, you know that indexing is also present in your table calculations. I will just do an apply. Now see if I pull it over here. I don't get the desired results. Right. Let me not do this. If I put it there, see it is giving me, the numbers in accordance to the values over here, and it is giving me the thing, but I don't want it to be like this. This is the reason that why it is giving me an aggregated view. Anyone who wants to volunteer and tell me why is this giving me an aggregated view? What type of value gives an aggregated view? You remember we had discussed discrete and continuous. And I told you, continuous stuffs come in green pills and discrete comes in as separate ones. If I remove this, you will see that this is giving me separate values because this is a discrete value. However, when I pull in index over here index, I am wanting it to be 1, 2, 3, 4 as well. But it is giving me an aggregated view. That's not something that I desire. What I will do, I will remove this. I will go to index. I will right click over there and I have an option called convert to discrete. What I will do is I will convert the index into discrete. And now let me pull it in the workspace. Once I pull it in, you can see that it is giving me a number as 1, 2, 3, 4 up till 17 as indexing. Right. Now, this is not an index function that we want to learn. But we are going towards conditional formatting. For that, we need to make some of the preparations ready that we arrive at index function. We arrive at the conditional formatting things. And all the conditions and all the preparations are done from the first that we can achieve it. Excuse. Now that we have the indexing, now let us set the goal that say suppose it. I want to highlight, say, the first 10 cells from row 1 to 10. Let's do that. We have the values. Now say I want to highlight the first to 10. The top 10, basically top 10 cells from row 1 to 10. Whatever is my top cells. For that, what we need to do is, along with index function, we need to create another calculated field which will be telling that that if it is top 10, then perform certain things. For that, what we need to do is we need to create another calculated field. And let me name it as top 10. And over here, now that I have already created the index function, what I will do is I will just pull in that index field. And I will do it as less than equal to 10. Now play. Now that I have created the top n, just check what kind of a value it is. Anyone who the values over onto the left is visible to you guys, right? What is the data type for top n? If you see this value to your left, number. Integer. See over here, the hint is also there. Only. True, false. Right? Right. Correct. That's correct. It's a true and false. It's a Boolean data type. This top n index, the top n field that comes in, that is a Boolean. Now, what was our aim? Our aim was to highlight top 10 cells. Right? What we will do is we will drag this top 10 onto colors. Once we do that, see, as it is a boolean, it comes as true and false. And what happens is now, my first 10 rows are highlighted. If you just click over here and or over here, and if you do an exclude, you will see apart from that, you will see all the values below. Correct. You won't see because we have taken as false. A false condition is basically all the cells apart from the top 10. That comes up. That's how you conditional format the values. Now say someone tells you that kindly highlight the bottom 5 for me. Right. For that, what you will do? For this one, for a top 10, I had chosen what? I had chosen the functions index and top 10. Now the demand is that I need to see how is the bottom part done. For that, what we will do? We will again, pull in sales and subcategory. Subcategory and sales is pulled in. Now what we will have to do? We have to do a bottom. Correct. For bottom 5, what we will now do is we will again create a calculated field. And now we will name it as last. Why last? Because what I am doing is I am pulling the last function from the available function list. And see, once I choose the last, it gives me returns the number of rows from the current row to the last row in the partition. Correct. I will do an apply. And I put the last. Why is it giving me again an aggregated value? It's not discrete. Because it is continuous and we have to make it discrete. Again, I have to convert it to discrete. And now let me pull in. Let me not do it in over here. Let me do it in the same sheet. It will be easy for you guys to grasp as well. Now what I will do is I will pull in the last function. Say it's over here. Now see, the indexing for last happens. One more thing is index. When we use index function, the indexing starts from 1. When we use any other, like last function, the indexing starts from 0. That's why we have 16 to 0, which is 17 only. But then it starts from a 0. What happens? Using the last function. Once we use the last function, what happens is we have this last values over here. It starts from 6, 15, 14, etc. Now we have chosen the last value. Now we need to create another calculated field. Because we need to define this last function and tell it that first I need the bottom 5 values. Correct. Let me go and create another calculated field. Let me name it as bottom. Bot. Now I do an apply. But that is giving me a because Now over here, I have not written the function earlier. Now what we have to do? In bottom end, we have to define that last. Now we already have the field last. Less than or equal to. Right. Because indexing starts from 0. 4 means 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4, 5 values. Right. Last is less than or equal to 4. Now I do apply an n. What happens is we get the bottom. Now let me drag the bottom in. And you see, what happens is the bottom 5 gets highlighted. Right. Any difficulties in understanding? Clear, right? This is pretty simple stuff. Perfect. Now a question may come. Does any question come to your mind at this scenario? I'll raise a question. If I want both, then how do I do that? Because if I drag in top end to color, bottom end goes. And then if I want bottom end, then top end goes. Because why do they go? Because Boolean functions cannot reside together. If someone unmuted it, do you want to say something or something? Now we have the bottom. Now what we need to do is we need to create something which will show me bottom 5 and top 5. Say top 5 I want to see. What we will do? Now we will create another calculated field. See, I'm doing it for the conditional formatting, but it is one kind of a logical formula writing as well, which please go ahead and practice for yourself. That you don't have a problem understanding the formulas or writing things. It's pretty easy. Let me name it as top 5. Bottom. Now the condition is, what do I want? Now what I want is less than or equal, because what I want is top 5. And then I want bottom 5 as well, right? I need to use an operator. And or not. What should I use? Because I need to suffice both my conditions. For doing both the conditions, what do I need to use? Now the condition will be last, because I already have created last. Less than or equal to. Right. This will give me my index is less than or equal to 5 and last is less than or equal to 4. Let me apply. And now let me drag this guy to $. What happens is now I have my top of 5 and I have my bottom 5 numbers highlighted. Right. That's how you can showcase conditional formatting to your customers and see how they want to. However, they want to see. You can do a conditional formatting that, this raises curiosity and they get to see how are conditional formatting done. As now that we have this, while you are working on a dashboard or something, what you can do is, you don't At that point of time, you don't want to show this index and last because that is not something they want to see. You can hide it. How do you hide it? You go to this, right click, and there is something called Show Header. Just click on Show Header. Then you go to, and then you do a Show Header. What happens? Now the values are in accordance to your subcategory. And see, after every subcategory, you have a value that is conditionally formatted. The person seeing it won't know what is happening in the background, but they will see a result as they want to see. That's all about conditional formatting, guys, and that's how you can work on it. Do explore conditional formatting. Do explore the values, the codings, as per your wish. I'll just clear it. Thank you. And finally, do not forget to like, share and subscribe to our channel.